What if I were to tell you, breakups don't happen to you, they happen for you? Hi, I'm Brandon, and I take people from breakups to breakthroughs. So when you're going through a breakup, it's easy to get caught in this trap of, why did this happen to me? Why me? Almost like you're in a victim mentality. But when you're in that victim mentality, it's really hard to let go. So you need to switch from that victim mentality, that low vibration mentality, to a higher mentality. And just realize right now what you're going through. The universe is trying to teach you. It's always trying to teach you a lesson. And right now, you have to figure out what that lesson is. Was this someone that just wasn't good for you? That just wasn't choosing you? What was the lesson? I know from my own mistakes in the past, I kept falling into this trap where I kept dating women that just didn't choose me. And I couldn't figure out why. I was never processing the lesson after I was going through a breakup. I would just be like, why does this keep happening to me? I don't know why. I was never truly understanding the lesson. I never was truly doing the inner work. So eventually what I started doing, after this happened to me a third time, believe it or not, I started to dive deep into, why does this keep happening to me? And I realized that I was reliving a similar childhood pattern. When I was growing up, my mom was never really around for me. I had a narcissistic stepdad, very belittling, and then I ended up later in life when I would date people, it was very similar. They didn't choose me, belittling, overly critical, and I couldn't figure out why. And the reason why was because the universe kept sending these people to me because the universe wanted me to say no. It wanted me to stand up to myself and say, is enough is enough. And finally, when I was with the third person who didn't choose me, I actually finally broke up with them and I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not choosing someone that doesn't choose me. And ever since I've done that, the universe has continued to reward me. And every time it sends someone into my life that isn't good for me, that doesn't choose me, and every time I say no, I notice I keep getting rewarded. The universe wants to reward you, but it wants to see that you've learned the lesson. It wants to see you've grown. So one of the great ways to learn this lesson is to start meditating. I highly recommend meditating. You can go on YouTube, you can look up inner child meditations, you can look up letting go meditations, you can look up higher self meditations. And it's amazing what you'll find out about yourself as you're in these guided meditations, as you're in thought, as you're in these trance, and these emotions and these memories are coming up to you from the past that you didn't even realize you had. But you have to learn the lesson. Because if you don't learn the lesson, what normally happens, so let's say someone gets broken up with someone that wasn't good for them. They weren't right for them. And instead of sitting in it, feeling it to heal it, doing the inner work, doing everything needed to move on and better yourself, they just go and jump into another relationship. Well, what usually ends up happening is you attract someone that was usually similar to your previous partner. And then when that relationship ends, because you never processed the first one, now you're processing the second one, but you're also processing the first one at the same time. And it makes it that much harder. What also makes it harder, though, is when you're going through these breakups, is you don't even realize your inner child is just screaming in pain because it can't figure out why it keeps reliving this early childhood pattern. And half the time when you're with these people that don't choose you, you think you're in love, but really you're just in a love that's familiar. It's not even really love. You're just fighting for your parents' love. You're fighting for your parents' love in a person who isn't your parents. A person that you don't need to put on a pedestal like you pedestalized your parents. So if you're going through this, please do the inner work. Check in on your inner child. It is so easy. Every day I take 2 to 3 minutes, it doesn't take long, to just go and check in on your inner child. See how he's doing. Hug him, hold him, say, hey, everything's going to be all right. And especially when you're going through a breakup, it is the best time to heal this inner child because you're in pain. So you're more motivated than you've ever been to heal and fix this pain. So really, this breakup you're going through was a gift from the universe to heal your inner child, to heal the things that keep causing you to fall into this loop, to fall into this pattern that you keep falling into. But until you heal your inner child, until you heal those early wounds, there's a good chance you're going to keep falling into these patterns. Now, if you're watching this, there's probably a good chance you're already somewhat self-aware. And that is great, because being self-aware is the very first step. But now you got to take that self-awareness and use that to notice when this is happening to you. Because even when I was self-aware, even when I was with someone that wasn't good for me, it took me on this spiritual journey where I started to realize all these things. And I was self-aware of all of it, but I wasn't saying no. I wasn't standing up for myself. I wasn't saying enough is enough. And the relationship ended up ending. And of course, instead of taking time to heal the right way, what did I do? Oh, I just jumped into another relationship. That makes everything better. Relief, it does it temporarily relieve the pain? Yes, it does. But it doesn't relieve the root issue. So, what ended up happening? Got in a relationship. Everything was great. Similar patterns started to happen again. But this time, I said no. And what happened? The universe rewarded me. And ever since then, everyone that has came into my life has been someone that chooses me, because I no longer accept people that don't choose me. Imagine if you start saying no, and then everyone else starts saying yes to you. Because right now it's hard to say no, and I get it. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to have an anxious attachment. It used to be painful for me to say no, because you're just fighting. You're just fighting for that love of your parents. You're just fighting so hard, and you just want to receive it. But you keep looking for it in the wrong people. So take some time. Take some time to heal. It's okay to be sad. Believe me. And don't think you just need to get over this right away. There is no timeline. And the more you try to rush the timeline, the longer it takes. So I went through a breakup one time, and I was like, I need to get over this as soon as possible. I set a timeline. I set a dead limit. I'm like, by this date, I'm going to be over it. And all that did was prolong my healing. Fast forward, got into a different relationship, we break up. That time I said, you know what? I'm going to take as long as I need. I'm going to take as long as I need to heal. And guess what happened? I got over it so much faster because I didn't put any importance on needing to heal. I accepted that I was in pain. I accepted that it hurt. Because I accepted it, I was able to just let it go. So if you're going through a breakup, if you're struggling, please follow my channel. I've been through it. I get it. And I want to help you. I'm Brandon, and I take people from breakups to breakthroughs.